Hey black women, there's gonna be a clip after me about the live I was on with Crystal Swirls earlier today. What I want you to pay attention to, right, is this woman who claims she's a friend of Crystal. Now that I don't really care about, because you can be friends with a lot of weirdos, right? But this is a white woman, and you black women really need to listen to everything that she says carefully, okay? She says that she's an attorney. Honestly, I don't believe her, but I don't care either way, right? And she also says that now she is an adjudicator, right? So I know the definitions of those words, so I don't know what the hell she's talking about. But anyway, she's supposed to be a retired attorney, talking about now she's involved in policy, and that's the most important part. And then in between her speaking to Khadijah, who was getting very emotional, you're gonna hear her say, make a mistake and say, well, not all white men think like that or do that. You're gonna hear that. Pay attention for that. And you're also gonna hear her talk to black women as if black women are stupid, because you got to remember who you're dealing with. When we dealing with white women, you got to always remember these are the passive aggressive queens, right? Everything they do is playing the victim. So she's real good at understanding black males. Remember somebody had said, I think it was the same lady that came up with intersectionality, that said black males and white women have the same mentality. So what she's doing in the beginning of her commenting on the live is trying to insinuate, which is wrong, okay, that when we're talking about black women defending themselves against black femicide and attacks of this new trend of hitting women with bricks, right, she's trying to make it seem as if we're talking about hitting them with illegal weapons or going out of our way to illegally harm them. Now, at no time did anyone say that. As a matter of fact, we spent several lives talking about, watch out, y'all. We spent several lives talking about people making sure that they got licensed weapons in their state. And a lot of these women live in states where they don't need to have any license. A lot of those states now have open carry, and they have relaxed the laws. They did that with who they did that with? Trump, DeSantis, quite a few different people. Y'all can call out in the chat, not in the chat, sorry, in the comments, if your state is one of them that has been so relaxed, because they did that earlier this year, I believe like in February, right? So anyway, she's on here trying to insinuate. This is why when people come on your lives, it's important to check them and get them right, so that they don't start unnecessary propaganda. So what this white woman is trying to do on Crystal's live is trying to promote the idea that black women are just as criminal as black males, and that we're going out of our way to try to hurt them with illegal weapons. Because she goes out of her way to keep saying, oh, just make sure that if you defend yourself, make sure you do it with legal weapons. Like we're stupid. Like people have not literally been making lives about women who have been in domestic violence situations, had orders of protections, had restraining orders, had multiple arrests, had active investigations, had several arrests of the offender under their belt, and they were still dealing with an asshole. Went and brought bulletproof vests, etc. Remember the lady who got shot in her face when she was running from her husband? Put the bulletproof vest. So when you hear her talk, I'm trying to point out how she's trying to make black women seem like we're stupid. We are intentionally trying to break the law, and that we're trying to hurt black males with illegal weapons. she's just getting on here trying to fuck up the whole situation. And if you notice, she's also trying to mock us and be a comedian, because she mentions quite a few times, I just don't want the sisters to go to jail or end up in prison. Like, white bitch, worry about yourself. The only one that's gonna end up in prison is you, or more than likely in a fucking grave site somewhere. You keep fucking with them black dudes, because that's what she's doing. That's what she's doing. The way she came on here caping so hard for them, pulling that old time rhetoric and excuse about how America's so hard on them, twice as hard, as if we're not black like them too. And as if we don't take more of the fucking brunt than they do, because we're the ones that work. We're the ones that go to school and get educated, while their lazy bum criminal asses are always trying to live off of us and use us. So this is when you know this is a white woman fucking a black dude, and the bitch is digmatized and out of her fucking mind. But as soon as he knock her upside her head more than enough, she may get back right. Or throw her into a TV like that football player did that chick. So it's just a matter of complete stupidity on this woman's part. But I just really wanted you to understand that she was trying to paint black women as rogue vigilantes and shit, when that's not the case at all. But because she's caping for black dudes, that's how she's trying to make it. So just be wary of these type of chicks that's out here, because they have agendas. And if she is a real adjudicator, or whatever the fuck she's calling herself, she's going out of her way to try to benefit them, those black males, instead of dealing with, like I asked her, why don't you, if you're an adjudicator, why aren't you working on black femicide? Why aren't you working on human trafficking of our little girls and the killing of our children? If you listen to the recording or that portion of the live, she's dead silence, radio silence, because that's not important to her. Because see, she can't jump up and down on a black woman's dick because we don't have one. So she's worried about them and them only. This is why when me and other black women tell you black women got to stick together, they got to start being politically active with each other so we have some power, because we not only got to combat white men, white women, and black males, but you got to basically fight with the power structure of this country, because you got white broads like her that are all mesmerized by some fucking dudes. Thank you. And this is her problem. So I cut out only that part where she was speaking, because I could give two shits about Reese. Fuck him in every way. But please listen to this white bitch right now. And remember what I said. She's going out of her way to give a false narrative about black women and illegal weapons. So I guess she has somebody listening on the live, but she full of shit. Just listen here.
Hey, Crystal, it's Judith.
Hi, Judith.
How are you, sweetie?
I'm great. You want to add to the commentary of the show?
I really just want to talk to the ladies. When the gentleman is done, I'll love to talk to the ladies.
I'm gonna drop off and y'all can bust it up. I'm gonna drop off and listen. I'm gonna let y'all bust it up.
Okay,
I'll
Reese.
let you again, Crystal.
I'm gonna let Judith have the floor. Judith, you got the floor, sweetheart.
All right, y'all.
Okay. As Crystal know, I'm an attorney. I work mostly in family court, doing domestic violence and everything along that line. Work with the district attorney. This conversation is making me so sad. I want to cry. I'm not from the hood. I don't have the experiences that I'm hearing about. But as a woman, this is just breaking my heart. And one of the things I wanted to stress to the ladies, you need to protect yourself. However, you have to do it legally within your state. You do not want to be the one ending up in prison. I recommend you contact your local precinct, sheriff's office, depending on where you are in the country. There are community service offices. Talk to them. Tell them your concern. Find out what you are legally allowed to carry. I know that in New York, all of us are sitting ducks. The criminals and the cops have guns, not law-abiding citizens. So we're basically just sitting ducks.
Damn.
I do not know if pepper spray is legal in New York. You must check with your local community service office of your police departments. In the South, they have women's self-defense classes, which includes learning how to shoot a weapon, how to clean it, etc. Instead of getting your nails done every other week, take that money, go to a shooting range, get with your girls, your besties, make it a once a week get together with the other ladies. Learn how to shoot a gun, learn how to protect yourself, learn how to protect others. Under the law, you have the right to protect yourself and others against imminent harm or danger or death. Make sure you're always working within the context of the law. If you are in a DV situation, oh my God, there are agencies out there like NNDEV, National Network Against Domestic Violence, or the End Domestic Violence, NNEDV. I worked for them a little bit. National, just Google NNEDV. There's also the Domestic Violence Hotline. They will teach you how to clear your browser if you're in a domestic violence situation, how to escape safe.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things they will tell you, make sure you have all your documents someplace else. Don't keep important documents. If you're planning on leaving, don't keep important documents where the abuser can hold on to them, like children's birth certificate, your passport, etc. They have a whole bunch of
and find out where your nearest local domestic violence shelter is. A lot of y'all don't even know that type of information. We got
you're not, Crystal, you will never know where the local domestic violence shelter is unless someone takes you there, like the police. It is not common knowledge. And the reason it is not common knowledge is to protect the women and children that are there.
Yep. It's an undisclosed location.
Correct. You'll never know. If you are in danger and you live with someone, follow those directions on how to get out safely. Always get an order of protection, and it's just a piece of paper. Remember that.
It holds a lot of weight. A lot of weight.
Especially if you're going to defend yourself. Under the law, you can't shoot anybody in the back. You can't invite them over and then shoot them. You must be in imminent harm or danger. So if you have any questions, I would always suggest you call your local community service of your police department. Speak to an ADA, an assistant district attorney. They will talk to you. Just don't take the law into your own hands, and just remember to carry weapons that are legal in your community. That's all I wanted to say to the sisters.
Damn, Judith, it's scary out here, man.
I know. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions for me? Crystal, if somebody has a DV matter, oh, by the way, that brick to the face is not a DV matter because they were not intimate partners. That is a criminal act. But Crystal, if anybody in your group have any DV issues or any that family violence thing, and they want to speak to an attorney, I will be happy to speak to them. You know my number. Crystal,
Yes.
please don't give it out.
No, definitely
But
never that. We have a personal relationship, me and you. If I ever,
Yes.
I got your number in my contacts. If I ever, you know what it is.
Yes, and this thing is making me want to come out of retirement. Crystal knows my background and what's going on in my personal life, why I'm not litigating anymore. I work now in policies. Let's put it that way. I can't go to court like I used to, but I want to come out of retirement. I really do. I guess I can work from a policy section. I hate the fact that I am going to have to incarcerate so many Black men. I really hate the fact that I am going to advocate for locking up Black men, and it's breaking my heart that I am going to have to do this. I do not want to do this, but to protect women and children, I have no other choice but to ask for the court to incarcerate these men. And I am also thinking of legislation that I know that I hopefully can get through. And even if I can't get through, that it will be in prosecutors' head, making this a hate crime. Attack against Black women should be a hate
that
crime.
Point that you feel. Girl, if I don't feel no type of way about locking these niggas up, that's the difference between me and you. My empathy at this level is it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm going to have to work my way to that point. But right now, I hate the fact that I am going to have to lock up Black men or advocate for locking up Black men. It hurts me to the core that I have to do this. I know that Black men have a hard time in this country.
Oh my God.
I know the challenges Black males face, but that doesn't give them the right or the excuse to brutalize the women and children in their community.
Challenges?
Yes, there is racial discrimination.
All they got is racism. We got racism and sexism. And we get stuck with
You
the
are
kids. What is so hard about being a Black male versus being a Black woman?
But you know what's crazy? They're the ones that inflict the stuff that Black women go through more than any kind of systematic racism. That is going. I don't experience systematic racism. I'm sorry, I really don't. I don't experience that.
Well, you may have experienced it and not realize it, like when you go for a job or something like that. So
no, I don't experience that because I get every job that I want, I get it.
Oh, very good.
And I'm in a male-dominated field right now.
I'm very happy to hear that. That is wonderful, but unfortunately, we can't turn a blind eye that racism does exist. It's a fact of life, and Black males are pressured, and they have it really hard, but no excuses. And I hate the fact that I am now going to have to advocate incarcerating Black men. If a Black man can tell me what else I can do besides incarcerating Black men, I would love to hear it.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that again?
I said, I hate the fact that I am going to have to advocate incarcerating Black men. And if a Black man can tell me what else I can do as an attorney so that I don't have to lock them up for brutalizing the women and children, let me know. Let me know what else I can do besides incarcerating them.
They don't want the consequences. They just want to go around and harm and hurt and murder and break into people's cars and break into people's homes and scam and all of this stuff. They want to do it in peace.
I'm sorry, the law won't allow that. So if they
there's nothing that you can do besides put them in jail, but they're using that very same thing to say that they're disproportionately targeted in the criminal justice system. No, it's because you are disproportionately committing most of the crimes.
No, sister, that's not true. They are disproportionately put in prison. I mean, just walking down the street being Black is an issue. I mean, racism does exist. And unfortunately, if you're poor and Black, you're less likely to be convicted than not. More likely to convict.
So you're saying that somebody that didn't commit a crime can just be picked up.
You don't have to commit a crime to be found guilty. I mean, we know thousands of stories where innocent people are put in prison. There is
Innocent people like who? Who is still in prison that didn't commit a crime and put in whatever happened? All the people that were so called put in prison that didn't do anything, they were all released and pardoned. So,
or they shouldn't have been there in the first place. Sister, what is your name? What is your name so I can address you correctly?
oh, it's Khadijah.
Hi, Khadijah. I know you're emotional, and this is a real reason to be, but we cannot.
I am emotional about this because I'm here.
Of course you are. Of course. Definitely. But we can't deny the fact that black men have it hard in America, but it does not excuse them
I disagree.
for what they are doing. They need to be providers, builders, and protectors of their community, and they have failed in doing that.
But they told you they don't want to do it.
I can't say that all. I can't say that all white men are like that. No, we just don't have enough. We don't have enough of that.
Well, when I go into the
But
comment
again,
section,
like-
Judas, let me tell you my findings. When I go into the comment section, and this was just yesterday, I did all my homework and I decided to do a live. They were saying stuff like, man, you can't force us to go with women that we're not attracted to. We ain't fucking with them. We ain't fucking with them. Like, you forcing us. That was over the issue of colorism on with Spice versus Erica Mena. And it's like, man, you can't force us to like, that's not our preference. We don't like them. I was like, wow. So this is my thing. It seems to me like you're trying to make an example of black men. They need to be protectors and builders. They don't want to be here. Does that not register to you? They're branching out into other communities and nesting like a bunch of roaches amongst other communities. They do not want to be in the black community.
I hear what you're saying, but to me, Erica Mena is a black woman. She
So
does
all this stuff
I know
about
you didn't
protecting the
do that.
building.
To me, she's a light-skinned black woman.
She is not black. Stop
She's
that.
black.
She's not black.
How do you mean she's not black? She looks black.
Where is her black lineage? Where's her black lineage? Where's her black lineage? Her mother is not black. Her grandmother is not black. Both of her grandmothers are not black.
I'm sorry.
What's
You
her
can't listen. Hey, Khadijah.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Let me just put it this way.
She's
Through the eyes of a white person, that's a black woman. Through the eyes of a white person, that's a black woman. Just happened to be a light-skinned black woman.
She's not a black woman. She's not black.
Wow, this is deep.
And again, we're
We
talking
got a
about
police
the
officer on the
violence
line.
against
Show
women.
some respect.
No, stop
Let's
saying
all-
that.
Hello.
To get
Let's all
harmed
show
or
some
anything like
respect.
that. But
Yep.
she's not black. And we're not giving our blackness to nobody that don't have any black parents. Are you sick?
Hello, we have a police officer on the line. Can we show some respect? Can
Hello?
we show some respect to the police
Listen.
officer? Thank you.
Listen to me. I'm a former police officer. I'm not a police officer now. Listen, Khadijah, calm down.
Okay, Khadijah,
Khadijah, calm down. Judith, stand down. The thing is, you, Judith, I'm talking to you. Khadijah's on point. Khadijah, control yourself. Pulling your emotion. Judith, are you some type of agent? Did you come on this show just to try to be pro-black male? Because you put up here with crazy, out of your ass information about black males when you know none of that stuff is true. Anybody can go on any of the law enforcement websites to see that they are not over incarcerated. They're incarcerated because of the crimes they commit. Now, what you need to do is get the hell off this live and go, if you call yourself a real adjudicator, go work on dealing with black femicide. Go work on the fact that these dudes are out here trafficking our damn children, killing our children, and doing all these heinous goddamn things in society. Don't you bring yourself up here on this live trying to pretend like you some black woman that cares about other black women. Go do your job if you claim that you are an attorney, because you are definitely not, from what I hear. Okay?
Crystal?
Ain't no way in the world no damn retired attorney is going to call up and talk the nonsense you're talking. You must be somebody's girlfriend, somebody's mama, or somebody that has a vested interest in coming up here talking that black male bullshit.
Now, you can go ahead with all the rest of that, but all you black women in the chat, and Khadijah, you doing your thing. She's full of shit. Do you hear me? Full of shit.
Yeah.
That is it. You got anything to say to me? I'm on Simply Stephanie.
Okay, y'all. So after playing back and listening to the live, right? When I jumped in and called in on Crystal's show, and it was me, Khadijah, and this woman Judith, right? I wrote down some notes so I don't forget, right? Now, the first thing I want to talk about is how she thought it was a joke to be playing with black women and how emotional it is for us to be getting attacked and shit in society. So I noticed that when the Erica Mena part was brought up for just a moment, that momentary time when Erica Mena was brought up, if you listen carefully, I had told you this before. White people are crazy. They really think that the world is broken up into only black and white. This white woman who on here pretending to be ambiguous, right? Calling black women sisters, right? She said to white people, white women, listen, because I don't remember if it was literally white women or white people, but she did say to white women, she's a black woman. She just happens to be a light-skinned woman, right? Then she went on to say she made a mistake when she was speaking, when she should have been talking about black men. She said, all white men will not react like that. Now, I don't know what type of Freudian slip that was, but she said that too. She was trying to insult Khadijah's intelligence, and she did that to Crystal when Crystal had made the mistake of talking about finding out where your local DV centers are. Now, what Crystal is talking about is the local shelters. So because this woman is not black, she's a white woman, she doesn't know anything about black women's reality, right? She has no idea that many of us often try to leave these very violent situations, and the first thing most black women do is go to the shelter, right? So when Crystal was saying that, that's what she meant. But every black woman is aware of the domestic violence shelters, the hotlines, and I have told you more than enough times about the domestic violence credit card, where if you are in your home and you have no access to money, there are two, Asian women or white women, whatever they are, they came up with a company called Finability, finability.org. When you go on that website, it also erases the browser for you, so that if you're caught on the website filling out the application for your credit card for Finability, so that they could send you a credit card so you can have money to escape the domestic violence situation, that company does all of that for you. And they tell you about all those things she was speaking about. But what this white woman does, which is insulting, is that she tries to insult the black women's intelligence, because she thinks that, like most white people, she has to enlighten us. You don't have to enlighten us, because what she doesn't understand is when black people get upset, they tend to shout. They tend to get very emotional. Yes, white people know we're emotional, but what they don't understand is that emotional state does not make us stupid to the point where we can't think outside of that emotion we're currently in, nor does it allow us to stay stagnant in the situation. Like, I could be emotional as fuck, yelling and screaming, whatever the case may be, still see through both of my peripheral visions on both sides of my body, and be ready to react to anybody trying to pull up on me, come around, sneak me, whatever. Same way as if I'm having a heated argument with her, I can still think about what I have to do next and the things that's going on around me. Because as black women, because we always have to always take care of ourselves, because we have constant 360-degree threats, she doesn't know anything about how we live, who we are as real people, besides, hey girl, how you doing? And trying to be phony and shit, which is why I said she was a fake black woman, right? She's doing these things because she thinks it's funny, and more than likely because she's digmatized. So let me get back to my notes here. That's what she said. She said, I can't say all white men think like that, when we were talking about the violence of black males. So I don't know what that slip was about, but I'm pretty sure it's rooted in the fact that she likes to jump up and down on black dick. What else did she say? Oh, it was funny how when she was talking about all that craziness in her white woman's mind about how America is so hard on black men and they suffer all of this anti-blackness alone. She never once spoke about how hard life is on black women. Crystal tried to point that out to her by talking about how they only have one thing that they have to worry about in society, which is their blackness, because they're males and we live in a patriarchy. But as black women, not only do we have people who are anti-black against our blackness or the fact that we descend from Africa, but they also don't like us because of our gender. So we have two things going on where they only have one. But even with us having all of those things, all those obstacles in life and all of those groups of people trying to punch down on us, we still excel. And all these black males do, for the majority of them, the collective of them, is commit crimes, become criminals, and fuck up everybody's community they go into, especially the black community. Then when she was talking about the differences in crimes, right? When she was talking about how she wouldn't want to see us go to prison for trying to protect ourselves. Don't worry, bitch. We know how to do what we need to do for ourselves. We've been doing it for 500 fucking years when your people had your fucking foot on our neck and we still was kicking your ass, okay? So, when she was talking about how we didn't know the difference between DV and crimes, yes, we do. What happened to that lady was a basic assault. Now, what degree it was, I don't know, right? So, we all know what DV is. Crystal slipped up. It wasn't like she doesn't know what DV is, because we've had these conversations on previous lives. So this woman was the entire time trying to show her intelligence versus her assumption that black people are stupid, because don't forget now, with white folks, whenever they think about black people, we supposed to be stupid because they believe in the white man's burden. They gotta always teach us black folks something, even though we're the first people of the world, and every fucking thing they've learned in this world came from black people, African people to be exact. Every fucking dynasty in this world that had colleges, democracy, and education, psychology, astronomy, mathematics, all that shit before they even existed, came into existence and then went and fucking pilfered everything and patented everything to make I'm being an asshole comedian with the patent, right? Took everything to make it seem like they came up with it when they did not. All they did was steal it and then run around boasting as like it's theirs. The same way they do with everything of ours here today in America. Like any catchphrase we come up with, take woke for an example. That shit came out with black people in 2012, and it meant exactly what it means for us. For us to call out the discrimination, injustice, inequality, and disparate treatment that black people receive from the white establishment, white supremacy, and white America, period. It ain't none of that bullshit they talking about. Okay? Then what else was she saying? When she was talking about how she's a retired attorney and now she's supposed to be working and trying to pass laws. Anybody could do that. Any one of us could do that. Okay? Now, if she claims she's an adjudicator, okay, from what I remember, those are not the attorneys that pass laws. But okay, right? But you and I could do the very same thing. We all have senators. We all have congressmen, right? We can go to any of those people and demand they do something about a situation, right? Example, my senator in New York, right? We have a situation here where people could get orders of protections without any evidentiary hearing to prove that the person needs a fucking order of protection. So my senator proposed the bill, Senate bill, damn, I used to know it off the top of my head. God damn. I think it's 2832B, something like that. And it's for having evidentiary hearings before people can just obtain bogus ass fucking orders of protection to get people arrested, because they do that down here a lot in New York. And it was actually a big lawsuit where a hater called the police and child services on a black woman who lived in the projects. Got this lady evicted, arrested. She served time for something she didn't even fucking do. It was all a fucking lie. So my senator took some action because we were like, no, this bullshit has to stop. This shit is destroying our lives, and we got a right to live like every fucking body else. So she went to bat for us. So Miss Judith is not the only person that can be instrumental in getting laws passed and us fighting towards making these black males being seriously held responsible for their black femicides and child homicides, right? So it's not enough for them just to go to jail for the crimes or homicide laws that are on the book. When we black women band together and pull together and demand a political standing, because we are a powerful voting bloc in this country. But when we collectively come together to support any issue that benefits black women and little girls, we can do the same thing she's claiming she can do. That's nothing special, right? It may be a little harder for us because it takes more of us, more time, and more pressure, but we can get it done. Every black woman before us that fought in the civil rights did the same goddamn thing I'm talking to you about today. What else was they talking about? Oh, when she was talking to Khadijah, and Khadijah has said, I have never experienced any institutionalized racism with hiring, right? The white woman, because once again she thinks she knows more than the black women or black woman's lived experience. She's talking about shit where you put in an application and you have like one of these so-called ghetto names and you are identifiably black, and they take your resume and throw that shit in the garbage and rip up your application and never call you for the job. What Khadijah is talking about is the majority of black women are very fucking savvy. And if this white woman was paying attention to anything in America, she would know we know how to get jobs, whether white bitches try to stand in the way or white fucking dudes, right? Because we just came out of a huge motherfucking, what did they call that shit? The something exodus, when we was all leaving our jobs, the resignation exodus. Remember that shit? And what she doesn't realize is that women, black women, started moving into non-traditional jobs for women. They started going into entrepreneurship. They started going into working at home online. They started getting into import, export. They started getting into everything that we normally don't do on a regular basis. We are always involved in it, but not at these huge numbers, right? See, because she's so used to us being the fucking, in her mind, because she doesn't know anything about black women and black people, period. She's so used to seeing black people working as the cashier in the Family Dollar. She doesn't think about us in terms of who we really are. We are teachers. We're social workers. We're cops. We're lawyers. We're judges. We're representatives in this country. We're everything, right? We're city workers, state workers, federal workers. We do all that shit. She's not thinking like that, BC, because in her mind, because she's a white person, the same way she told Khadijah, and Khadijah lost her goddamn mind, she sees everything in black and white. So as long as she's white, she's been taught to see black women as being less than her, when in actuality, black women are better than her. Always have been, always will, because we have to work that much fucking harder to get things done in life that are just given to her because she is white. And if we would collectively get our shit together, it would not be that way anymore. But we have to all get on the same page. Stop the fucking black male worship. Stop the fucking assimilating into white America. Acculturate into white America. Fuck them. You just as good as them. You don't need to kiss their ass to exist or ask their permission. Let's see what else here was we talking about. I don't want to miss no points. That's why I wrote it down. Oh, the main thing, going back to the Erica Mena thing, right? She said 3 things when she was talking about Erica Mena. She said that to white women, Erica Mena is a black woman. It doesn't matter. She's not white. So she's just a light-skinned black woman. That's what she said. Make sure you run that part back and listen to the shit that comes out of her mouth, because that's giving you an inside look at how wild, ignorant, and insane, and how they group all of us together, which is why I told you the other day, people like Vivek, whatever the fuck his name is, Ramsuri or whatever the fuck, running for president, is not going to win. Because white people don't see him as white. They see him as a black person. Remember I told y'all that? Now you literally hear it out of the white bitch's mouth. Then, what did she say? Let me see. Oh, when she was talking about, this is important, when she was talking about how black men are overly prosecuted for crimes even when they're innocent. Now, some of that is true, but the majority of that is not true, right? Now, we all know there are times when that shit happens. Like here in New York City with the Central Park 5, all of those kids were innocent. And Giuliani, Donald Trump, they went out of their way to make sure that those kids were railroaded into jail, right? Okay, we understand that happens from time to time. But that shit is a rarity in comparison to the people that are really doing shit that run around saying it wasn't me when it actually was, right? So yes, that does happen, and you have projects for that. You have the Innocent Project that works with people like that, and 90% of those people that claim they're innocent, they're not. And you can write to the Innocence Project and find out what is the actual statistic on that, but it's more than 50% of those motherfuckers are lying. All right, when she talked, and I noticed also that when she talked about how when black men are imprisoned innocently more than them being found guilty for for crimes they actually committed, she never spoke about how black women are actually convicted more so than black males when they are before a judge. And based on their complexion, if they're dark like me or darker, they're given a longer fucking sentence than black males just because they are black women. Okay? It is the detest, it is the hate, it is all of that shit that white people have for black people that makes it where when black women stand in front of a judge, she gets the harshest fucking sentence a fucking judge can give, because it's all based in racism, and there are 1,000 fucking studies out there on the reality of what I just told you. Okay? It's so serious, it's not even funny. And there are organizations out there to fight against that shit. It's so bad. Okay, what else? Let me just keep looking over all my notes. I think I hit them all. Right? Oh, and she was saying that we should know she wants to make sure we know how to fight back legally. Again, she's trying to spin this negative, wrong, false narrative about us fighting illegally, roguely, and criminally against these fucking black pieces of shit males, right? So, I don't know how many times Khadijah has said she has a licensed firearm. I don't know how many times myself and Crystal has said, make sure you go to your range to practice shooting. Make sure you get bulletproof vests. Make sure you know the laws of your state, your county, everywhere you live. We've said this shit a million times. She comes on and tries to dismiss and disregard all of the things that we know as for a fact that we have encouraged black women to do from day one. We are not stupid black women. She's a stupid white woman, because she actually thinks that because she comes on and speaks bullshit on the live that it becomes actuality. No, bitch, it doesn't. We already know how to shoot, the majority of us. She has no idea how many black women walk around every day that have been in the military right after high school. She doesn't know that because she doesn't live our lives. She has no idea the amount of fucking black women who are correction officers, police officers, state troopers, or involved in law enforcement in some type of way. Either probation officers or parole officers, they're all over the country the same way. She has no idea how we have those type of jobs in droves all over this country. Okay, she doesn't know that because she doesn't want to know the truth. All she wants to do is advocate for black males who she's probably fucking. And because she's stigmatized, that's all she's caring about. See, but we don't give a fuck about them. We don't give a fuck about fucking them. We don't give a fuck about how they feel. We don't care how they'll survive. We don't give a fuck about them. We, people like me, women, black women like me, we would like them to go get locked up in jail like they did in the 90s and keep them there fucking forever. As a matter of fact, bring back 3 strikes so that you're in that motherfucker for life, because they deserve it. They're walking around on the streets just harassing people every day because they ain't got shit to live for, they ain't shit in life, and they don't want shit out of life. So why should black women first and foremost and little girls suffer and then the rest of the society? Fuck them on a whole. Is there anything else? Yeah, I talked about how black women get the worst sentences in jail. How as a white woman, she don't give a fuck if Erica Mena is Hispanic. She said just because the bitch was light-skinned and wasn't white, she was black. And what's funny is I guess a lot of black women feel the same way because they damn sure be riding for that bitch and every other fucking non-black bitch, Cardi B. Alright? What is that? What is that other bitch's name? The fucking Lazada bitch. That one from Basketball Wives, right? They just be riding for all these Hispanic women that are fucking anti-black to the core. Their cultures are anti-black, right? Most of them are Catholic. They've all been colonized by Spaniards from Spain, which is why they are Hispanic, not Latino, not none of that shit they're calling themselves. They are Hispanic, meaning they were colonized and originated from the slavery of Spaniards going to different countries, breeding African women with the indigenous people and the Spaniard viceroys to bring about Hispanic people. Let's never forget real world history, okay? So it is funny to hear this white woman talk out her ass and not know what the fuck she's talking about, but at the same time try to paint a picture of black women being criminals. That's what that bitch was doing. I told y'all, they are never your fucking ally. They are always trying to work against you because they always trying to compete for you when they can't fucking compare. Compete with us for some raggedy fucking black males we don't give a fuck about. Where if they keep fucking with us, and it's going to come to pass, enough black women will wake up and we will stop having them. They will no longer be in this world. And then we'll see what the white bitch does for dick then. Because that's all the fuck she care about. Is riding on some weak, broke ass, she don't know no better, thinking she's getting the best out of life, busted fucking black dick. Because she's not a black woman, she don't know the difference between quality black dick and whack dick. And what she's getting is whack dick. But she's still stigmatized, none the fucking less. So, I hope y'all learn a lot from this. But most importantly, I hope y'all understand from the shit that Reese was saying when you go back and watch Crystal's full live. Stay away from black males. Let white broads like Judith, let them silly bitches have all of them. Because let that bitch end up 6 feet under. You go out into this world, live your life with other men, and have a good fucking time because there ain't no other women out there with what you got in your pants, okay? And those other men know that. They knew it from slavery and they know it from now. So, go on out there and live your life and have a good time. You don't need anybody's validation in this life, okay? And Miss Thing, don't get the right to come on here and try to educate the black woman. Because we don't need you to teach us shit, Miss Ann. Go on, Miss Ann, about your fucking business. Because we know how to handle ours. Once we wake these black women up and let them know, stop fucking these black males. Stop having these children with these black males. Stay away from them. And send these motherfuckers to their maker when they fuck with you. Regardless of what she's saying. We know what we mean by that. There is a colloquialism between black women. We know what the fuck we mean. And since she's not in every one of our lives, she don't even know what the fuck is going on in certain states. Miss Ann, go sit down somewhere, girl. Go sit down and have several fucking seats. And just to answer her question, no, my dear Miss Ann, pepper spray is not legal in New York. I went over this several times in different videos, okay? It's not a question of us dealing with black men with illegal weapons, the thing she was trying to drive home, which is totally not the case. The majority of the black women in the South are allowed to have handguns. They know how to carry them. They have licenses when they need them, and they also go to the ranges all the time. Clearly, she don't know nothing about black women because she's too busy being male identified and black male worshiping. There are tons of black women on TikTok showing off their range skills, showing off their gun shops, showing off everything legally related to owning a firearm. Matter of fact, what was it, just yesterday or the day before? I was talking about the gun application process in New York City. See how she don't know what's going on with black women because she's so far up a black motherfucking male's ass. Anyway, fuck her. Y'all have a good night. Watch the live. I hope y'all get a lot from the clips because this shit was just too crazy to be true. She gonna come, Miss Ann gonna come on and try to educate her sister when she don't know the first fucking thing she's talking about. And if she was and is a real adjudicator, then go on, girl. Go make sure that black women get their executive order the way them fucking Asians got it for being attacked. I think we get attacked more than anybody else in this country. We get attacked and killed every 4 to 5 hours of the day. Our children, our little girls, get sold for fucking human trafficking every fucking day. Where you at with those laws to protect little black girls and black women? Oh yeah, I forgot. You ain't nowhere with that because you too busy worrying about how you look compared to us because you know you can't compare to us. So that's why you ain't worrying about that. You're only worrying about how tough it is in society on a black man because I like to get and jump up and down on that dick. Look, bitch, get the fuck out of here. I can't believe this, bitch. I really can't. Black women, stick together, stay together, look out for one another, support each other, collectively move politically for each other. Have a good night, black women.